All right, guys, welcome to the AZVA Pod. This is our second episode, but the first one with a guest. So this is exciting for us. So we want to welcome Casey over here. If you want to introduce yourself, just tell them a little bit about, like, a brief introduction about what you do, and then we'll get into like more like the deeper questions and stuff about it. But yeah,
appreciate you having me. I'm Casey, like he said. I run a film company out here in the Valley. Strap Photo Club was my first venture about 2 years ago. Centered around disposable cameras and making the process of shooting on film seamless and easy. And then I just opened our first brick and mortar film lab, Strap Film Lab, about a month ago. So,
cool.
Fellow entrepreneur, and love it out here in the Valley. I appreciate you guys having me and excited to chat it up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and like the goal with this podcast, what we talked about, if any of you guys watched the first one, was that we want to have creative people. We want to have business owners. We want to have people that are like-minded to us. So that's why I felt Casey was a good person to have, just because like the business owner thing and being super creative, like our guy Brock over here and like me. So yeah, thought that was a great opportunity to just chat it up. But we noticed, because me and Brock were talking and when we were preparing for the podcast, and we were like, it seems like you have a lot of different ventures that you do. So I kind of wanted to know, like, what is your, like, would you say your main one, and then do you have like other ones that you're working on, or is it just like you're mostly focusing on the Strap Photo Club, or is it mostly?
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, honestly, and a lot of things that I like put into motion, some on idle, some still moving, slow motion. But yeah, I guess Strap Photo Club was like, this is profitable from the jump, and made the most sense, I guess, quickest way to profitability and money to fund my other ones. So, cool. I mean, if we like backtrack, my first kind of like hustle was selling burnt CDs in like middle school. I was kind of always finding a hustle to make money.
Walk us through that. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was back in like the LimeWire days, but it was just like, it was both sourcing people music and also like giving them a hard physical CD that they could put in their CD player and listen. But that was like my first like middle school into high school hustle. And then so I've always been kind of like loving business and finding a way to make money, honestly. So and then actually clothes were my first kind of like hustle. That was late, that was like 2018 probably. I started doing just like these one-off exclusive drops. I called it Feel More Club, but all of them were kind of like this, like, I like to journal, and like I would take my journals and make them into kind of like physical drops. Actually seeing Cole Bennett do it now. Kind of like that similar, like, quick sketch on a napkin, or like some saying and like kind of storytelling behind each piece. So I think I did maybe like 6 to 8 drops with that. And I miss it. I love clothes. I love wearing clothes. I love expressing myself through clothes. So that was kind of my first, like, I guess, more at scale business. And then, yeah, once COVID hit, I moved back home, and I was just like, this is like back in Michigan where my family lives.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, this is probably the best time just to throw like all these ideas that I have at a wall. So then my next one was Pulse, which was a music sharing platform. And like the issue I saw there was like sharing music. I like this song, where do I go to share it? It's like I posted on my story. I feel like that's like not the best way. I was like, what if you had a platform where I could post, kind of almost Instagram, but like post one time a day. You log in, like you choose Apple or Spotify, because I think that's a big issue too, where it's like, I use Apple Music, you use Spotify. I share you this link, it does you no good. So basically the platform, you picked what one, and it sends you the link accordingly. So you double tap to preview, and then it'll take you to the platform of your choosing. So that's probably still in the works. I'm down to like, it's a working website right now, and there's probably like maybe 5 to 10 a day, but that was my first dabble in kind of like software and music sharing side of things. And then I'm trying to think what it was after that. And then Strap, I think, was the next one, where that came from. I liked shooting on film. I would shoot on disposables, and realized like the process took too long, and I'd go to Walgreens, wait 3 weeks, get a CD-ROM. My laptop didn't even have a CD-ROM port anymore. And then I went to this film lab in Miami, and they had a vending machine full of film. And I was just like, I was like, this is the best idea ever. Like, who runs this like business? I need to talk to them. I chatted them up, and they're like, this like vending machine doesn't even work. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. And I like stepped out of there, and I called my now business partner, Matt, and I was like, I got it. Like, we've been trying to work together previously. I was like, I got it. Like, And our first concept for Strap was vending machines at music festivals. So kind of like a Redbox movie-esque like customer journey where I can like buy from a vending machine, run around the festival 1, 2, 3 days, drop it off on the drop box on the way out, and kind of eliminate the hassle of like sourcing a disposable camera, dropping it off at a film lab, going back and picking up. So it's like if I could buy on site, shoot on site, leave on site, and then 3 days later get text and emailed all the photos.
They just get sent to the person?
Yeah, it gets sent to the and like you can scan the QR code, add friends. So that was like our first kind of like launch here. What was it, like Decadence, maybe like 2 years ago. And then after that, quickly people were like, yo, weddings, like this is perfect for weddings. And as we hit the drawing boards, we're like, hey, let's create this party pack, bulk disposable cameras for weddings. Same kind of thing. It ships in the box. You take them out, put them on the tables, put them right back in the reusable box, and there's a return label. And just, try to make that process super seamless and easy. So I've been, I guess, long story short, been throwing things at walls, and I have more ideas in the back burner too. But Strap, I just see like the trajectory and growth, and using it to like then fund other ideas I have. So I think I'll be always like a serial entrepreneur at heart, but right now in this moment it's film, and like that's I just scaling that and doing that. So it's
funny because like I feel like all entrepreneurs are like the same. It seems like it's like we all just want to, like, even before AZVA started doing better, I was like always like, oh, how can I do this or how can I do that? And it's like you're always trying like do all these ideas at once, and then it's like finally one starts working. Okay, I need to like focus on this and like lock in because it's like it's working. So it's like, but it's funny because I feel like we're all.
No, it's tough to do. You want to try so much, try so many different things and see what sticks. But
you're like, this guy, like, I saw his TikTok, and dude's like putting vending machines in random places. That looks cool. Like, it's like, dude, what am I thinking? I just need to stick with what I'm good at, you know?
It's so hard sometimes.
Yeah, because it's like exciting, right?
Yeah, I think that's like, that is the hardest part, really. And it's like, it's probably all feasible ideas, and like, it's sticky, but it's like choosing which one to like, I think focusing is the hard part. Like so many people can like go not start up, but like dabble quickly and be like, oh, this is it, the next shiny thing. But I think it takes the people that make, I guess, but like people that make it is like, I'm going to do the mundane and stay focused and like do the same thing over and over and over again for years on, you know what I mean? To like get to that point. 100%. So I think like, it's easy to get that like jolt and like happy and like, let's do this from like a couple months in, and then once you get like a year in, you're like, all right, like this, you know what I mean? Like it's still, you find the fun in it, but it's not saying it's not fun, but I think like sticking.
You got to like build a brand.
Yeah. And it takes time and love and care and energy and like, and honestly, consistency.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's just like not giving up and sticking true to what you're doing. And I think like I noticed, cause he mentioned to me first, he was like, I think he has a clothing brand. And I was, cause I didn't even know that. He was the one that like told me that today actually. And I was like, oh shit. But I think that like, you've done a good job with that venture, that the disposable camera one, of like really building a brand through it. And it's like you can tell through like your socials that it's like you're starting to like really build like a brand behind what you're doing, which is super cool. Because like a lot of people like obviously like don't really realize that aspect is so important. Like the name and like what you're doing behind it is like just as important as the product. So I think it's really cool because like one of the things I noticed was that you did like the McDonald's All-American game. So that was sick. I wanted to talk about that because, you know, growing up, I played basketball. So that's always something that's like cool to see all the young guys that are like, you know, going to be future stars. And you did like was it a collab or like?
Yeah, it was a collab. So they reached out to us and were like, we want to do custom cameras for each player basically to give them, because they're there for like a few days. It's like practices and stuff leading up. They got the slam dunk. So they're like, let's give these cameras to a player and like basically through their eyes capture their McDonald's All-American weekend. Cool. So we made custom cameras for all of them, and then the content team and some of like the execs at McDonald's. But that was like a full circle moment for me. It was like, it was cool because like they sent the whole like, you're invited to the game. I'm like, I always dreamed of like getting invited to this thing. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not playing in it.
Yeah, I'm not playing in it, but I'm collabing with it, which was like so surreal. And it's actually like, sick. And it was Bronny's year. So like, it was like,
dope.
Not that, I was like, this is sick to like.
That's a good year.
No, it was a great year. It was a great year. So it was so cool. Yeah, like I said, full circle. I grew up watching that game, like dreaming that I'd play in it, but it was cool to kind of like collaborate. And they actually just reached out recently too to do round two. So run it back.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's even better where they like the experience, and so hopefully that can be like a staple for them. that moving forward. But yeah, just you get it.
Where was it? Where was it at? Is it always in the same place?
No, that one was in Houston. They bounce around. Chicago hosts it sometimes. I don't think New York, but yeah, I think it moves around. I don't know where it is this year. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, it was a dope collab. It was surreal for me. Just young Casey would definitely be pumped.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like everyone kind of has that moment when they're first starting where it's like, oh shit, like we're really doing this thing. And like, I don't know if like that was it for you, or like if there was another moment that was like, oh crap. But it's like, I don't know, that's awesome. What was that weekend like? Like did they like fly you out, or like was it kind of just like meet there and like show up? Or
they were just like meet here, honestly, but they gave us like all access pass, and
that's
it's funny because I
was
like
on the court and stuff?
I was on the court, and it's funny because it's like they had me like sitting next to the photographers, and like I'm sitting there with literally a disposable camera. Little camera.
And they're all with their like $1,000.
Yeah, so it was cool though. They definitely took care of us.
What are you doing?
Yeah, but they liked it. Everyone that sees it, like, oh yeah, that's dope. Like they like it. They're like, oh, I remember. It's so funny, just like in general, the camera. It's like you get like the older generation that's like, oh my God, I haven't seen these in 20 years. Like this is still a thing. And then you get the younger kids that are like geeked on it that don't even know what like analog film is. And they're like, how, like some people just like finish the camera and just like give it back. Like, how do I get it now? Like it's not on my phone. I'm like, you have to actually like develop it and like scan it, like go through the whole 9. So, but yeah, the McDonald's thing was cool. Like, yeah, all access pass was sick, and behind the scenes and just capture my own content. I have one of my favorite photos ever was like Bronny hugging LeBron, or LeBron's in the back, he's hugging Savannah. It's like one of the favorite photos I've ever taken, and it was like just full circle, like taken on strap, and it's like collab, and it's like even like the background to the photo, definitely like a surreal moment. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see the game in a different perspective, and see him play at that level. So, and like I said, and Bronny kind of made it even extra special that year.
Did you get to talk to Bronny at all?
No, I didn't. I wish. It'd be cool too. But
you're just like, hey, yo, look.
Yeah. Smile. No, that's what I did. I'm more like the photographer fly on the wall. Like I don't. Yeah. I like just like seeing the magic happen and capturing it. Like that's maybe why I'm drawn to photography too. I kind of like being the more, I guess, reclusive, but like seeing it, and capturing it through my point of view, but not too much.
And then people see, because I've seen your work and it's really good, like for real. And there's a lot of photographers that it's like you can be like, but no, you're like your stuff's cool. Like it's like not only cool, but it's like unique. I feel like you have like your own, like, I don't even know, it's like your own style kind of. Like it feels like it's like different. I don't know.
I appreciate that.
But it's cool. It's like I feel like that's probably a cool moment too, like taking those photos, and people like might not even known that you taken it.
Yeah,
That's probably dope. And then you send it to them like, oh, when did you take this?
Yeah. And that's kind of how like I even did it like stuff for Devin too. Like I kind of like, I'm not a photographer, videographer. I just like have the thing on me and like just like, you know what I mean? More just like friends kick it, but shooting, you know what I mean? I feel like sometimes I get too more like organic content that way. I'm like, I don't label myself as a photographer. You know what I mean? Like I just like happen to just have the camera on me and like more kind of like run and gun, like less planned type of stuff. So, but I appreciate the love on the work.
I was curious too, because I was like, I didn't know if you were like a photographer or if you more could just consider yourself like the business owner of this. Or
definitely business owner. Yeah, I kind of have like really bad imposter syndrome with the film, just because like I said, I shot on disposables and like that's all I knew, and I didn't even know how it works. I just like saw a gap in the industry. I'm like, this is like I can. Like I'm more of a systems operation business guy, and I'm like I saw the problem and I wanted to solve it. But now opening the film lab, it's like I'm learning, but it's like, and luckily I've hired smarter people to like work in the lab for me, where I'm like I'll do the marketing, operations, business. I'll funnel people here. Like I have enough. I can talk it, and I know enough to like be dangerous, but like I know there's smarter people out there within like photography and film space. So I know my lane, and I try to stay in the lane and get the best people in the other lanes and divvy it over when people ask questions. So
we know all about that life, huh?
Yeah.
AZVA. That's a main thing that we do here. Like I mean,
think that's the toughest part of like an entrepreneur is that you want to do everything.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is you want to save time and specialize in something that you're best at, and then find other people that are better in their
I think that's
some good game. Like, cause it's like at the end of the day, you can only go so far by yourself, and it's like the people that make it, I feel like, are the people that realize you have to let people do what they're good at. And it's like you can be really good at a bunch of things, but you got to just stick to what you're best at. And that's like kind of what it's funny. That's like how me and Brock operated. Was like I'm like the business side of things. Like I've always been the marketing, like the person that started it, and like always done the operations, like you said. And then like I had ideas and design ideas, and I was doing a little design myself before he got here. But then I hired Brock, so I was like, I just needed someone to take that aspect of the business over. So it's like, it's like kind of how. Yeah, it's funny. It's like the same in every business, but it's like a lot of people don't realize how important that is to like really just expand your team through people that are good at what they do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, I like to at least like learn what I'm hiring, like enough to like, if you left, I could do it myself. But like, and enough to like know it, to know what I'm hiring for, you know what I mean? And looking for, like, so I like to at least get like my feet wet and learn it. And then I'm like, okay, I know what to look for. I know who, you know what I mean?
And
like
you know
that type of, ask for. And then another like advice I got too is like, hire somebody that's like 80% good, train them to be 90%, and like be okay with them being 90% good. Yeah. And I think that's like a really hard part for like me, like OCD entrepreneur, where it's like it's tough to give up the reins, even like that you said, but like to go far you have to. So it's like also being okay, like it's also like not their baby. Like for me, it's like they're not their baby. Like you know what I mean? It's like they don't like and it's fine, but it's like that's like kind of a tough detachment. But I think but then when you find good people too, like making sure they feel appreciated and loved, and like
100%.
And
I feel
journey,
like
so.
I hope I do a good job of that. Do you feel appreciated and loved?
All the time.
We had a heart-to-heart today, actually.
We did, right before.
Right, yeah, we had a heart-to-heart today at work with him and AJ, our other guy. So it's like you got to have those, you know, it's like everyone understands the vision and like what goes into it, and it's not their baby, but you want to make them feel like it's like. And it is a team. You got to make it feel like a team, though, and people don't realize that business is just like sports in that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, transitioning into the sports thing, so obviously, like, you have some sort of relationship with Devin Booker. He's like obviously the GOAT of Arizona. This guy's like the best basketball player to ever come through here. How did that relationship, if you don't mind talking about it, how did that come about? Because that's like obviously. That's cool that like you have a friend that's like in that realm of things, and it's just like it's like cool to be able to probably experience some behind the scenes stuff with someone that a lot of people look up to. So like, how did that relationship come about?
He's actually from Michigan, so he's from Grand Rapids, where I'm from. And we played travel basketball together. I knew him prior because he was playing on other teams, but then we played on the same travel basketball team. I want to say 6th grade through 7th grade through 9th grade for a few years. And then he moved. So his dad was playing in Italy at the time. His mom was living in Grand Rapids. And then when his dad retired, his dad moved to Mississippi and was like, hey, like, do you want to make it to the league or not? Basically. And he's like, all right. Like, so he moved to Mississippi. There was a time when he was like, come with me. And I like thought about it, but I was like, I can't leave my family. Like, that's a lot. And then he moved to Mississippi, and like, we just remained super close all the way through. Time in Mississippi, Kentucky, here. So it's been cool to really like see from the jump. You know what I mean? Like you see behind the scenes, but like
been around forever.
It's really like it's so dope. And I always tell people like I'm a friend, but also the biggest fan. You know what I mean? Like I love watching his game. Like I love just like who he is. So it's been cool. But yeah, it literally goes back since middle school.
That's
playing
awesome.
Travel basketball together and just remain close since. And obviously, like I've helped him here and there with some like creative projects, and he'll ask me some like input on some things. So it's been cool to also like have my hand in some things behind the scenes and help him kind of create his brand and kind of his look and aesthetic and stuff he's touching. So
well, it's actually like impressive too, because Devin Booker's aesthetic is one of the aesthetics that I feel like a lot of people like talk about and look up to, and you've definitely like been a part of that with like, cause I've seen you've done a lot of like behind the scenes footage of him and stuff. So yeah, it's like hats off to you too, because that's like cool to you've like a lot of people are like, oh, I want that aesthetic, and it's like, yo, that's like Casey like, did that some of that aesthetic.
And it's cool with him, like, cause that's who he is. Like that's what I always tell people too. He's just like a like simple, like just simple dude, likes the like no, like the film, you know what I mean? Film, camping, kickback. Like he's just like, he's like us. I always tell people he's just like, he likes the same stuff we like. And he's just like, it's cool to find like, he found his like lane and his style and what he likes, and people are attracted to it. And and then he actually like genuinely loves the stuff he shares. You know what I mean? He shares the cars and that type of stuff. So
it's sick.
It's been cool. Yeah. It's like I said, I'm a fan though. It's been fun to watch him. And it's just like crazy to think, it's just wild.
Yeah,
like,
it's like you don't think, because like I have the same thing. I played travel basketball growing up, and like I had guys on my team. They obviously didn't make it as like big as Devin Booker, but I got some guys that like got drafted and stuff. It's like, oh, like it's cool to like look back and be like, I remember when we were like in like 8th grade, 9th grade, just like playing like basketball, like these youngins, like, and then it's like, wow, this guy's like, he made it all the way. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the same thing even with us. We've been doing all these collabs for our brand, and it's like a full circle moment too, because it's like all these like rappers and like athletes that we like looked up to and watched when we were growing up and stuff. Now we're like doing work with them. It's like, it's definitely cool to like meet people in person and realize, like what you said, like it's like we're all the same, you know, like it's all just like, but it's cool like having those experiences and like getting to see people not just on like TV and in like what you assume, but actually getting to meet them and build those like genuine connections with people, I think is like priceless, you know? Yeah. So, but yeah. And then also I was going to talk about, for your company, you did some work with him, right? For his new shoe through your business, right? Yeah. So if you want to talk about that, that'd be sick.
Yeah. So he just released his like Nike book Chapter 1, his first signature shoe. They did a release at Art Basel. I think 500 pairs. Yeah, 500 pairs of shoes. And
were you in Miami that weekend?
No, I wasn't.
I was out there.
I should have gone. Yeah. But they so Recess Studios is a creative agency. Portland, they're Portland, New York, LA, I think. But they reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like we think this fits perfectly. Like Book loves film. What do you think about like 225 cameras for the first 225 people that buy the shoe?" So it was crazy to like. It was crazy too, cause like I didn't really. I also liked it because I didn't get I got it through Book kind of, but like also not. Like it wasn't like him like plugging me like, hey,
they just saw the work.
Yeah, they saw the work, which I really liked too, because I was like, oh, like they, you know what I mean, they saw the work and reached out to me. It wasn't really like him, and I would love if he plugged me, but like it was also cool to be like, wow, I actually like built this myself, kind of, and like they came and saw me, and like it made sense because he likes shooting on film. So yeah, it was a dope moment. Another like surreal full circle moment, like Nike, you know what I mean, and like his signature shoe too. Like,
did he have to like approve it, or was it just kind of like they just went straight to you, or just
they just went straight to me? Yeah, so they were like that creative studio was handling like all creative direction for it. So they were basically hired by Nike. So we just sent them the file. They mocked up the cameras, designed them, and we shipped them. So it was cool. It was dope. And then the guy that works at Risa sent me, some people are trying to flip them on eBay.
Really?
Yeah, they're flipping the cameras on eBay. He sent me the link.
It's like
I was like, that's
the cereal boxes.
Yeah, no, literally. No, I was like, that's funny. That's so funny. But yeah, no, it's dope. It's just cool to see like when I first ideated this, like I had no idea where. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just like saw it as like a solve here, but it's been cool to like see it evolve and watch it grow and seeing other ways people are using it. And I mean, like the collab with McDonald's and Nike. And
are those? Would you say those are the two biggest ones that you've had, or is there any ones I'm missing?
No, those are definitely probably
two biggest.
Yeah, two biggest for sure. Actually, I mean,
I know you mentioned you're in one of the bars out here too, right? Hot Chick.
Yeah, I'm in Hot Chick. Yeah, Hot Chick, Maya, like a Monsoon Market. There's like I think 6 in the Valley, 6 or 7.
And it's the vending machines, right?
Yeah, the vending machines. So
cool.
We definitely do best at like Hot Chick.
Brock knows about Hot Chick.
Yeah,
been there a few times,
a couple times. So wait, I'm curious, how did you get like into Hot Chick and Maya and all that? Like, was that like talking to the club owners, or was that like a long process?
Yeah, so my business partner Matt knows everybody. Like I swear he knows. Yeah, he's 1 degree away.
Networking.
Yeah, exactly, and kind of why I like I mean, I wanted to work with him regardless, and like he was kind of like, I actually met him through Devin. So like when Devin got drafted here, I was in Devin's ear like, yo, let's like YouTube channel or like at least content. Like I know where this is going. Like let's at least get like a creative team behind you, like shooting behind the scenes and. Even if it's just like internal home
that
video.
Kanye documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Yeah, that was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. So, and then Matt got connected through someone else with the Suns, and he was at the first initial meeting, and like I just gravitated towards him, and I was like, he's like an older like dad figure for me, but also like business savvy, knows people, and so I always wanted to work with him, but he was actually Cascade, the DJ, his tour manager for like. Forever. So when I first ideated the idea, I was like, music festivals, you know, everybody in the club and music festival scene, like, let's just plug these vending machines everywhere. So him, honestly, he knows that hot chick, and everywhere, like, we've got a vending machine so far, he's got us in. And then now we're talking to Live Miami, the Win. So hopefully, like, Vegas would be kind of like the next little.
That would be sick.
Next little.
Yeah, that would be like, because I feel like Arizona has, like, we have a good bar scene, but, like, when you think of clubs, it's like Vegas, Miami.
Yeah. Actually, Scottsdale's kind of turned out nice because of our party packs, where it's like also like a strategy where it's like, okay, let's get the bachelorette parties. You know what I mean? Like, before they even have.
Go for like Nashville too.
No, exactly. So like that's a whole nother realm where Scottsdale's actually worked perfect, where it's like, hey, let's show our brand and cameras in front of these bachelorette parties, and then it's like, oh, like, I want this for my wedding. Like, this is a no-brainer. So it's kind of worked. And like, I wasn't even like what I was thinking, but it worked. So
yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of how business goes. It's like, we started with like mesh shorts, and it's like all of a sudden, like, a year later, we're making leather jackets and jeans. It's like, you never know. It's kind of, you kind of just like, you just figure it out. Like, no, that's crazy.
And evolve and grow. Yeah, growing and expanding, and seeing what other avenues.
And that's like, I feel like the best point of this podcast is that people that are watching, I hope they realize that, like, you don't have to just have it all figured out, you know? It's like, you just kind of, you got to have an idea, and then you just like act on it, and then stuff just starts happening. So it's like, it's cool how things come to fruition, and they never turn out how you expect them to turn out, which is like, I feel like the beautiful part about business, because it's like, you never thought you'd be probably living down here. Like, he moved from Idaho to work for AZVA. So it's like, things just, you know, they just fall into place when you stay true to what you're passionate about.
Wait, so how'd you guys meet?
Yeah, so me and Brock, you want to tell him? You want me to?
So basically, it was through my cousin when you've always selling vintage.
Yeah.
And what you and Connor met at what was it, like a flea market or something like that?
Something like that. That's how I met Jake too. He's my videographer now. So it's like I started my business by reselling vintage. Okay. So I'd buy 90s clothing, like at Goodwill, Savers, whatever, resell it at flea markets, eBay, whatever. And then I slowly just decided I wanted to create my own stuff instead of selling like other people's creations. So I started dabbling with like making my own stuff. And then Connor, his cousin, was doing my TikTok, because that's another thing. Back to the beginning, I always had that mindset of, I want to let people do what they're good at. And I was like, I'm not going to sit around and make TikToks all day. So I was like, I need to find a kid with poofy hair and I'm going to have him run my TikTok. That was like my mindset. I was like, dude, every time I open my TikTok, I see a kid with poofy hair. So we got Jake over here with poofy hair. That's how I got Jake. And then I had Connor, because they were busy with school. They were both doing it. And I was like, they couldn't both do it at the same time because they were busy. So I found two guys. I was like, I need these poofy hair dudes to be blowing on my TikTok. And sure enough, what happened when I hired the poofy hair dudes? Our TikTok blew up, and we started getting, this kid was getting views everywhere. Connor was getting views at the ass. I was like, bro, I've been posting TikToks for 4 damn months, and I had to get one video over 1,000 views. And then Connor literally gets on the video in 1 second and gets like, I think his first video, he got like 30K. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? I was like, this is crazy, dude. So that was the story. And then I met Brock, lived here at the time.
Well, I had just moved down. It was before I even moved down. Connor was texting me. He's like, oh, I met with this guy. He's looking for a videographer. So it wasn't even for clothing yet. And I was bringing down my camera. I was like,
sure. So he was kind of like, you were just messing around. You were just messing around with the camera, right? Yeah. So I was like, so then he was like, my cousin does videography. I was like, oh my gosh, I got another kid with poofy hair. Like, they're coming from everywhere, man. Just all over every corner, dude. I'm like, so then he started to do some video. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, I didn't like it. I was like, this shit was not for me. I was like, I didn't like. But then he started teaching himself how to design, and then
my brand in the background, and it was I had shown you that I was doing like mesh shorts, and like, oh, I was thinking about doing mesh shorts.
Yeah. So we started talking about that, and he was like low key designing. I was like, I think you're better at designing than videography, bro. Why didn't you tell me you do this? You were like, I'm a videographer. I was like, no, you're a designer. So then like a year goes by and he moved back home. I reached back out to him because I needed help, because it was a point where my business was starting to grow. And when the business grows, I had a demand for more product being needed to be made, because it was like, I can't survive off dropping. I think like my first year I dropped like 8 items total in a whole year. And it's like now we're dropping like 12 a month. So it's like, before it was just like, I need to be able to create more product, but I don't have time. I want to focus on other things. Then I was like, yo, you down to just design from Idaho for me? And he started designing some stuff. We had a successful winter drop not this most recent winter, but the winter before. He designed some stuff for the winter drop. It did well. So then I was like, honestly, and we talked about this in the last podcast, but I was like, honestly, I can't really afford you as an employee right now, but fuck it. I'm going to hire you and come be my employee. And he's like, I'm down. So then we kind of just both said, fuck it. And dude, haven't looked back since. So it's been sick. There's been a ton of growth since I made that decision. He's been a big part of the growth. So yeah, it's been cool to like see the risk and reward for both of us. Like, it's like we really just like, we're like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go for it. And then we did, and it worked out. So yeah, but that was kind of the story how we met. It was all through like, just like, I don't know, it all like leads up to each other. Yeah, it's like if I didn't, if I didn't do vintage, I wouldn't have never met them, and then I would have never gotten into it. So it's like, yeah, but yeah, it's pretty much that. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any more questions for Casey? I'm trying to think. I feel like.
So out of all your ventures, what are you the most passionate about? Because I know you're probably passionate about all of them. Yeah. But like, what brings you the most joy out of all of them?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually.
He's like, let me think. I got so many options.
No, I think like, I guess looking back at all of them as like a whole, I think they all encompass like, I guess like depth, if that makes any sense. But like, sharing music, I understand who you are more. Like the like Feel More Club hoodie, like the clothing was more like expressing like feeling and like memories and cameras. I don't know. It's just like kind of like things. I don't know. I guess it's more of a like an encompassing of like connection and depth, if that makes any sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I feel connected to other people, and or like I can express myself in outlets to create the connection, I guess. Like if that outlet's through clothing, expressing myself, or like through a song I can share, or memories and photos. So I think like
able to build like community.
Yeah, community. I think it's like, I think it's more like maybe not one venture, but more this like feeling of like, of community and sharing my like what I like and understanding more about you. You know what I mean? Kind of depth. Yeah, depth and community, I guess. Yeah. That's kind of like a weird way to answer your question, but I think like looking back on them, it's all like depth and creating memories together and or sharing depth about you so I can understand who you are. And so I think, I guess if I had to pick a like venture though, I don't know. It's hard. Like I don't know. I really get fulfillment out of like I'm in the lab this morning just developing photos. And it's like I get happy just even like doing like the mundane film development. It's like, oh, these are like weddings or like, you know what I mean, first birthdays or newborns. I'm like, these are like lifelong memories that like these people will have forever. And then sometimes I'll hop on like the Pulse website, which like no one really uses, but it's like, dude, some of my favorite songs are like I find because of that, and other people say that it's like, oh dang, like this is like an outlet for people. It's just like, I don't know. I guess if that answers like none of them, but all of them.
No, I like the answer. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's dope. I had a question about the thing that you like, your brick and mortar. I guess we can call it that. It's like a physical location. Because we've always like talked about maybe potentially having. For us, it's like with me, and we just do so many like sales online that it's like hard for me to go and do like, I want to do a brick and mortar, but I don't know when the right timing is. So I was going to ask you like, what made you, because for us, my goal, like we want to open a store in like New York or like LA, just because that's like very like fashion cultures there, and Arizona doesn't really have as much of a fashion culture as those places. So it'd make more sense for me to have our like location be there. But I'm curious, like what made you decide to go for that? Because it's obviously we talk a lot about like risk and like stuff in business, and I'm sure that's like you know, it's like you're gonna be, because that's like a consistent monthly rent payment and probably more employees, and like, so what made you decide to be like, okay, I'm gonna open this physical location? And then my second part of the question is, can you fully explain what happens there? Because I still don't have like a full understanding, so I'm curious like what goes down there also.
To answer your first question, what led us to was so I guess the evolution of Strap was I didn't have the money to buy the film equipment, so you have to buy a developer that like turns your negatives into positives, but it basically like a 10-minute like ordeal, puts it through like 4 different chemistries, and then like a high resolution scanner. So like those are kind of like your big upfront costs for.
They're expensive.
A film,
machines.
yeah, they're expensive. I mean, yeah, they'll run you like 20 or like 25 grand maybe for the both of them.
Nice.
So I was like, I had the idea for Strap. I went to a film lab in Scottsdale. I was like, hey, like I don't have the money. Like I'm gonna bring you guys bulk cameras. Like give me a steep discount.
Yeah.
And they were cool. They're like, yeah, let's go. And so like I started like just growing with them, and like I'd go in before hours, after hours, and they taught me how to develop, and I'd do it all myself. And finally we got to this point where like, oh, like we have the money to go get our own equipment.
Go get your own.
So then we didn't have the money for a brick and mortar though. So we're in this like smaller, like just like I called it a ghost lab, where it's like we're only doing mail-in disposable cameras. Then that started picking up. We're like, okay, like we have the equipment. Like now we just don't have foot traffic. You know what I mean? We can take foot traffic, but we can't right now because the setup we were in wouldn't allow it. So and I guess like to kind of answer your second question, it's a unique product where like people, it's delicate to people where they're like they don't want to ship it away. You know what I mean? It's like something with film, like they want to like hand it off and like have like the ease and like peace of mind and like kind of relationship. So it's interesting because it's like the disposable is like it's a product in the camera, but it's also a service in the development. So it's like a very like kind of unique. Film's unique in that way where it's like a product and a service kind of like tied together. Well, I guess it never was tied together, and what Strap did was kind of change the game where it's like you'd go buy your like Fuji camera or your Kodak camera, but then you'd have to go find a film lab and pay for development again. Where we kind of changed the game where it's like the product, the service, and free shipping kind of all bundled together. Cool. So I guess like to answer your question though, like people want to like physically go drop it and drop it to a lab. So that kind of, and then we already had the equipment, so it was like. And it was nice.
And you can purchase all your party packs.
Yeah, exactly.
So if like they needed that day, it's like.
And what was nice too is we built e-commerce for 2 years and some change. So like it didn't force our hand in the brick and mortar. We're like, we have to make, you know what I mean? We have to make this work. Yeah. We already had the peace of mind where it's like, we already have this. Yeah, we already have this like foundation that's like pretty steady. Cool. So it kind of like eased the like, the monthly rent payment. You know what I mean? It's like we already can pay the rent just off online. So like we're only going to get,
So pretty much you were like, you cut the cost by getting your own equipment. That probably saved you a bunch of money, right?
Yes.
And then you also need that space anyway. So you're like, might as well turn it into a space where people can come.
Exactly.
So
and we didn't bite off more. It literally, someone came in last week or like, he wasn't hating, but he was like, this feels like your like studio apartment. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I love it though. Like it's dope. Like it's tiny, intimate, and like it's all the space we need. So also not like biting off more space than we need was also huge. So, but yeah, he was like, this feels like a studio apartment. Like I'm walking into your he's like, but I like it. Like it feels like intimate and like small. So, we also like.
Did you open that recently?
Yeah. That's like, we're like 3 weeks in.
3 weeks.
Yeah. 3 weeks in. So
it's a good time to do the pod. If anyone in Arizona, go check it out. Yeah.
Pull up to Mesa. Yeah. We're right off McDonald and Main, right behind like there's like a Mesa typewriter exchange. Which is like
cool.
A trip.
Yeah, I saw that little promo video you did. That was sick.
Yeah, thank you. It was actually like a nod. So our landlord his name's Bill, but he owns a typewriter exchange where he like sells and repairs typewriters, which like I didn't even realize was a thing. Yeah. But he's the homie.
I'll have to show you the video.
He's awesome, but that's why I did it. I was like, I'm gonna give a nod to him. You know what I mean? Like kind of like deeper meaning. Like I'm gonna give a nod to him because like he's my landlord. We're tucked in behind him.
What was the creative like inspo behind that? Because I saw you had like the white gloves, the white fit. Like,
it was actually a mix. So it was like I saw this just one really dope film photo, but it was like this the coloring was crazy, but it was like her at a typewriter, like abandoned, like middle of nowhere, but just like this run of paper that like ran forever. And I was like, that it just like stuck in my head. I have it saved on my Instagram, and then that was probably like a few weeks ago, or 3 weeks before we posted it. But then I don't know. I just saw it. I'm like, there's just a simple cut. I don't know. And luckily Harry, who shot it, like, I just was the same wavelength. I'm like, dude, nothing crazy. A little pan shot, me sitting on a typewriter, kind of like this photo. And then he's like, yo, what if we get like a jumpsuit, coveralls, the gloves? Because I bring that like kind of like development. And we've actually like always played with the coveralls because we actually want to do. We're talking to a few festivals, but like on-site development at music festivals. But I was like, I just always had this vision of like a clear cube box and like coveralls and like kind of like this cool like you go to watch even you know what I mean? It's just like kind of like more like it like draws.
It's like what's that guy doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think so. Like it was a combination of like a plethora of ideas I've had that just like kind of like hodgepodge into one kind of little promo video. So I'm glad you liked it though.
That aesthetic is like, it's honestly what we go for with our brand. And I don't know if you probably, did you see the video? Probably, I don't know, maybe on his page. I can show you it, but I might have to take that one from you. No, I'm kidding.
Please do, bro.
I just feel like with our aesthetic that we've been going for lately, we're trying to like create this like, just like nostalgic setting, because we always like, I started with vintage, so it's like it means something to me, and I love that like when something's old, it's just like cool in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Like, it just like makes it so much cooler. So like recently we did a shoot with a rapper. We rented out like a 90s bedroom set. That was super cool.
I mean, bro, I know. I see it.
Oh, you see
I'm tuned in. Don't worry.
Yeah, and then we did that other one that was the cubicle idea we came up with. We had like the Steve Jobs like cubicle.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah. So we've been kind of like on the same vibe with that.
No, for sure.
But I was actually, it's funny because before this podcast even existed, I DM'd you like talking about we should do like some sort of collab like with your company and our company, just because I feel like the vibes are similar. And that's like another example. When I saw that video, I was like, this is something that I would do. Like this is like an ad that I would make. So like we still need to talk about that. Like I think that would be sick to do some sort of like even if we like created like a product together and then did like a photo shoot with your cameras of the product, like in some video, that would be sick.
Dude, game.
Yeah, like that nostalgic.
Even your own camera,
I feel like you're kind of like on that vibe too. You like older stuff, right? Like you're kind of like that.
Like the older, just that's what you've always talking about, just that vintage kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
I like film cameras. I took one photography class in high school, so.
More than me.
That's why you were a videographer, because of that one.
Well, and then I just love videography. I loved movies and stuff growing up. So I was doing,
cinematography.
Like,
this is a big movie guy.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to learn the ins and outs of everything with film, and so I even bought an old like a Sony camcorder, and just I like the nostalgic feel from it that you can create, and like you can create a whole vibe just from the way the video looks or the photo looks. It's so cool.
And it gives that nostalgic. I guess that's even like at the end of the day, almost what I'm selling is like nostalgia. In a way, like it.
Well, it's a special feeling that when you look at a film photo, like no matter when it was taken, like the weddings, for example, when people take it on a film. On film, it has a special kind of feeling.
And you get that. It's funny because so many people are like, why? Like first I like, it's not for you if you don't understand. You know what I mean? Like exactly. I'm not trying to sell someone, but it's like I always say that it's like. First one is like the color. Like I love the coloring. You can't replicate digitally. Like what we're talking about. I think it was 2 for me is like the delayed gratification of film, where it's like you don't know what you shot. Like you have to wait for it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think like we're in such a like instant gratification society that like once you get it, it's like, wow, this. You know what I mean? Like this is amazing. You're kind of reliving those things. And then what was it? Delayed gratification, not knowing what you shot, coloring. I forget what I was going to say for the third one, but hey.
It's just
Casey's out here.
More in the moment.
In the moment too. You're more present, like not on your, and that's our main mission.
So you're out here teaching people patience.
That's
which a lot of people need nowadays.
That nobody has anymore.
No one has patience. So Casey's teaching patience.
We're trying to. You gotta wait. We gotta wait. So that's
what makes it more exciting though, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you take a picture on your phone, it's like.
You take like 80.
You already know. It's like, they're like the person that's asked take photos. Take 1 million photos. I'm gonna look through them all right now. It's like, but now it's like, oh well, if you look like shit, it's not. It's okay.
And it's like, it is what it is. Exactly. It is what it is. You know, it's like, I think digitally you have like you take so many. It's like that one doesn't look good, and then how many times you like don't even go back to the photo. You know what I mean? I think something about the film like experience, and my business partner and I was talking about like closing the loop, like once people get that like first time like experiencing that, like they're like, dude, this is like Christmas. You know what I mean? It's like a rush of like, what did I shoot? How did it turn out? The imperfections of it all. So I think there's a lot of like things that I'm drawn towards, and it's I guess in the like broader scheme of things, it's funny because people are like, I guess like technology and AI, and I'm like, I'm kind of like shorting it. Like I'm kind of like, I kind of want to put this thing in reverse. You know what I mean? Like, and like how do we get back to like, and I think film weirdly kind of does that for me, and like brings me back to that like raw nostalgia, like simple, like stripped back kind of thing. So I guess that's like one of our missions too with Strap, was just like, we can create this like tech back end to make it super easy, but like keep that like, analog, live in the moment. So it's kind of like this weird mirror of like, or I guess marriage of like digital back end, but like still like the analog
Just
kind
mixing,
of experience.
modernizing something.
Yeah,
That was
using the digital
classic.
to make it like easier delivery and sign up, but still having like, because like you have, I'm rambling now, but like you have like Laps and like David Dobrik did Dispo, and like you have these like these apps that come along, but I'll always, and they're cool, but I'm always like, that's not film. You know what I mean? It's like for me, it's like not it's not real film for me, and like, but they try to hit on like the delay gratification, like it has to develop and like you get it later, and there's similar things that they're doing, but for me it's just like it'll never never replicate. So
I want to switch gears here a little bit. So I feel like we've been talking about all the good in business, but I think a lot of people watching this, like my goal through this is to honestly inspire people to start their own business, or just be a part of like a growing small business, like whatever it is. I think it's just so valuable to see that, and it's just like, I don't know. I just want to inspire people to go after their dreams. And I think that it's also good though to talk about like stories about things that went wrong, because it shows people like, hey, if they're trying something and it goes wrong for them, they're not in their own boat. And it's like, it happens for everyone. Like even recently, the other day, we had a bulk shipment come in of 100 hoodies, and there were a majority of them were already sold. And there was a major issue with these hoodies, and we're not going to get into the exact issue, but we're fixing the issue, and it's going to get fixed eventually. But yeah, so I wanted to ask you, like, because we've experienced a lot of just like shit, like just shit going wrong. And so I wanted to ask, and I'm going to continue to ask this to every guest that's on here, is like, tell us a story about just something that just went wrong and it made you be like, damn, why am I even doing this, or I want to quit, but you persevered. And it was like, and not to put you on the spot, because I know I didn't mention this to you, but if you do have, maybe everything's gone perfect for you, but I assume not.
No.
But if
Definitely
you have, but if you have a story, I would love to hear that, just so not only for me, because we understand, but for the people that hopefully watch this or end up watching this, just to give them a little insight on like type of stuff that happens like behind the scenes in a business, because you only see obviously the good and what gets posted and what's actually like the final product, but you don't get to see always the process behind what goes into that. So
a lot. Honestly, I'm trying to think of the best one. Honestly, similar ones to you, but like when we first started, we were sourcing from China.
Yeah.
So basically, background is like we first ideated the idea. We pitched it to Kodak. We pitched it to Fuji. Kodak didn't respond. Fuji was like, no. And they didn't say no, but they're like, nah. But it's funny because they actually full circle came back to us. And we're like, that's who we use now is Fuji. But they're like, oh, we revisited your deck. We see what you're doing. Like, that's collab, which that's fine. But then we're going through China. And we're sourcing.
Fuji's
Fujifilm. So like Fuji and Kodak are like the main two film players.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I know Kodak. I've never heard. I'm not too familiar though in the industry. So.
Yeah. But yeah, going through China. So honestly similar to your experience, but we spent a lot of money up front to get the cameras, and they were not what they said they were going to be. Yeah. And we were bootstrapped, and it was less like a cash restraint, and so we went more into debt to basically make it happen. And so that's like, I guess there's more details behind that, but I think it was a pivoting point where it's like we can just like fold the towel and like quit and like not do this, but we took the risk, and you know what I mean, and
just take the L, you move on.
A big L.
So how did that process work then? Did you was there a sampling process and then it just didn't come out like the sample, or or did you just kind of trust that they were going to be like exactly how you thought they were going to be, or like what happened there?
Yeah, well, actually the film was not what it was said to be. Was the issue, which like you're not, I guess, too familiar, but
I'm not too familiar.
Like Kodak Fuji film, but the film was terrible.
When you were taking the pictures, it wasn't looking like what you wanted it to look like.
Exactly. Okay. And so if you go back on our early days, the photos are terrible. But the service was good enough to like
learn from it.
Learn from it, and like we continued. We probably with that supplier we did 4 versions, and then that was when Fuji came to us. We're like, hey, like we'll partner, and we moved to Fuji. But if you go look at, and we'll get some of those cameras still back, and it's so bad, and it's like it hurts because I always want the best experience, but there's also some times where like we gotta like ship you know what I mean, like this is what we gotta do, and some people didn't even know a difference, but I could tell, so it's like it was tough. It was in that sense, but we did the best we could for what we knew at the time, and like I just kept.
We have the same stuff happen to us. It's like, you know, when we have a product that, hey, it didn't turn out how we hoped for it. We want to strive for the best quality, but what I've learned through doing this business, at least with clothing, is that, you know, the best quality is going to take time, and you got to work up to that. And we're going to just keep continuing to improve for our customers and hoping that they know that we're working on improving, because it's like you can improve, but you want to make sure that they know like we're constantly trying to improve, because it's like we'll look back at our first whatever we did and we're like, oh, that is awful.
Yeah. But also like that's the best feeling, because like it's also growth for me. You know what I mean? Like
you're seeing that improvement in real life.
I kind of like that feeling of like, wow, that's like cringe, but it's because I've grown. You know what I mean? Like we've grown so much that like we've evolved to like understand. So like it's also that's a cool feeling, because I feel like some people don't even have, like, you're just stagnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being able to look back and like see growth. Like at first you're like, ooh, wow, but like it's also like, wow, look where we, you know what I mean, where we are now and like what we understand now. So I think that's even the brand aspect of just like learning, evolving, growing. You know what I mean? Just like that like flywheel effect. I usually iterate or ideate I'm trying to think of what I have, like ideate, execute, and iterate. And like I think that's like a flywheel effect I always think about. It's like, okay, let's ideate, and then let's execute what we just ideated, and then let's iterate. You know what I mean? And then that iteration flywheel process, like that's what, if you keep doing that, like you're gonna have the growth and B, a better product. You know what I mean?
As a business owner too, do you ever like, sorry, excuse me. Oh my gosh. My cough is making, we're sponsored by Fiji. But I just like lost my voice. Maybe you can cut this out, Jake. But do you ever like think about it in the moment where you're like looking at your product and you're like, I wonder like 5 years from now, am I going to look back and be like, what I'm currently doing is shitty? Like, you ever like think like that? I don't know. I feel like sometimes I look at our clothes and I'm like, these are so sick. But like 5 years from now, I'm probably going to be like, these aren't that. Like it's just so much better now. But it's like, it's weird to think about in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I always like look back. But then sometimes I'm even in the moment, I'm like, wait, there's going to be so much improvement. So it's sorry, I don't know what happened to my.
You're good. Yeah.
Wait, come in here, come on the mic.
Use.
Guys, by the way, this is Jake.
Now we just got 30K views automatic.
Yeah, this is Poofy Hair number 2.
TikTok guy. I wanted to ask a question. How do you find inspiration, and where does it come from? And also, how do you avoid burnout? Because I'm in your space too, and you know it's easy to burn out quick. I'm like bent over.
Yeah. I guess inspiration.
I'm like bent
over. Honestly, I found inspiration. It sounds like cliche, but everywhere. But I think music a lot, art, conversation. I think like serendipity, like almost eavesdropping. I don't know. I find inspiration in a lot of places. I'm trying to think of like the best. It just literally comes to me. I think it's like an internal feeling sometimes I'll get. It'll happen when I'm reading a book or journaling or listening to a song or overhearing things people said or I guess that's not the best answer, but and then what was the burnout? Dude, that's the hardest part. That is, that's.
He's like, actually, I'm burned out.
No, literally, like I'm over here, like, give me a sub. No, for real. But, yeah, I think that's tough. I guess getting off my phone, and honestly, it's like I'll deliberately go on trips where I'll put my phone in a drawer for like 2 or 3 days. And like that will give me the reset I need to keep going. But I think it's like forcing a detox or like forcing myself to like get time away because it is nonstop. And like I think nowadays, like with our phone and our podcast, especially content creation, like I can always be editing. There's always like this constant to-do list to like I need to create these like blocks of time that it's like, no, like I'm not even allowing myself the urge to do it. So I think that's like really something that's helped me. I actually have a separate phone. It's called the light phone. and like I'll use that. Like I'll go up to Flagstaff a lot, but at least once a month, like a day or two where I'm like, I just need, you know what I mean, a detox from like a digital screen, being on call. So I think if that answers your question, but that's at least like a practical thing that I've done that's helped like mitigate that.
Dude, you're the second person I know with a light phone.
Yeah.
My cousin has one. Shout out Carter. I love you, Carter. That's my boy. He has one, not because of, he just has one. That's his only phone. No.
That's his only phone.
That's his only phone.
Yeah.
No, he's just like, he just wanted to be like dissociated from like online and social media. I respect it. It's like I could never, like, you know, it's just a big part of my business and stuff. But it's like, so it's funny that you mentioned the light phone. It's like, dude, I've been hearing about these things. Like,
yeah,
it's like, so it's like this, pretty much what it is, like this little phone.
Yeah.
That, like, have you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was till
sick.
I literally, my
It's
cousin
sick
pulled it out on Thanksgiving. I was like, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah, 'cause what is it? It's just texting, calling.
Texting, calling, notes. You can get some music.
Okay.
And
Some
directions.
music, one song.
Yeah, you get a few songs.
You gotta pick your favorite song.
No, literally, it's back to like the iPod like shuffle. You know what I mean? Like you don't have much, but in directions.
Okay.
So and calling.
Cool.
So all like the basic needs. It's kind of like a pager in a sense.
I'm gonna give you a light phone while you're at work, bro.
I want to get one actually.
No,
I
it's
wanna
nice.
Detox.
Yeah, it's nice. I've noticed though, like I can do it also with my phone if I like deliberately put it away.
Yeah.
You know, but like that's hard. Sometimes I get temptation and want to pull it out. So yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little vacation, honestly.
Yeah.
And like it ties in his like inspiration question, but when I'm off it, that's sometimes when I problem solve best, or like I'll connect dots. I have to like almost like, what's it like? You can't read the label when you're in the bottle almost. Like I have to like remove myself to then like be able to read the situation and or like fix it. So I think the light phone allows me to like do that. Like let's get out of here. And it's weird because like I'm not working, but I'm almost working mentally, and like it helps me like reset, but also like problem solve in that sense. So
just makes it a little quieter for you, so you can actually think. And actually hear your own
and like
thoughts.
channel because like I feel like you're also like the inspiration. Like you're the muse almost. Like you just have to allow you have to either be in the environment to like spew though. You know what I mean? Almost like I love Rick Rubin. He's like my favorite person ever. But like he always talks about like
he's a renowned producer.
He's touched
crazy.
He's touched your favorite albums. All of
Yeah.
them. But he talks about like he has a really good book too. But he talks about like antenna, and it's like we all like receive ideas, and it's like cleaning off the antenna or like not being around things that interfere with the signal. You know what I mean? So I think like on that analogy, it's like I think getting away from that sometimes like strengthens that signal, and like you're able to channel ideas and get inspired easily because you've kind of like either removed places, people, things that like have blocked it. So I think that's like a big thing for me is like figuring out who I'm inspired by, how can I be around them more, where am I inspired, what am I doing, and kind of like reverse engineer like when those ideas are coming, what am I doing, who am I with, and like continue to do that. Yeah,
and I feel like going off of that, just with going off of like the phone detox, I feel like not having it, because I feel like not competition, but like comparison kills creativity.
Yeah.
And having like the phone away, you don't have anything to compare to except your own prior work, and so you're able to feel more, like, work more freely.
No, for sure. And like have no I think comparison's huge, especially with content creation. Like that's all it is like, oh, I could always improve. And we talk even business is like you can always improve, you can always get better. So
you're
it's
looking
like
at somebody else is like, oh well, I'm not that yet.
I'm not that yet. And it's like, but like I'm here and I'm me and I'm doing what I, you know what I mean? Like so I think it's like being able to restrain. Actually I also missed a business. Low key I used to throw, it was called Off the Record, but when I lived in New York I would throw no phone concerts. So that was in like 2019. Okay. So like I'd host these, it's like probably once a month, but we'd
I feel like you've lived everywhere.
Yeah, I was in New York for like 2 years. I've bounced around a little bit for sure. But like tying into the phone detox, and like that's actually been, and weirdly a lot of synergy with Strap. It's like also the film, like I can take my light phone and a film camera and I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, it also gives me like that content. So I guess like phone detox is another like thing I'm super passionate about and see myself getting into business. If that is with Strap, I kind of have some ideas like incorporating maybe a no phone little club action.
But
no, I like that concept because going to concerts and anything. I mean, everybody has their phone out.
Yeah.
To record a video that they're gonna watch once that nobody else wants to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it takes away from the intimacy of you and the artist or that performance.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why I did it. And it was cool because like artists played unreleased music that they wouldn't have because no one's recording, but also like created that just like really intimate setting. So
dude, imagine like a Drake or Travis Scott concert with no phones.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be crazy.
Like,
It would be
all you see at a Drake concert is phones.
Yeah.
You don't even get to see Drake. It's just like
No, you just see
45
Drake
million
through somebody else's
phones.
phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool.
You just look around, it's just like, like what the But that's dude, I noticed on your Instagram too, like you post your journaling, which I've never journaled, to be honest, but I kind of want to start because I feel like it's a good way to just like write down your thoughts and be able to like come back to them. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's like something that would be cool to try out.
It's dope.
And like when we talk about doing a collab for a product, that was like kind of my vision would be to like throw some sort of like journal note on like a hoodie or something. I think that could be sick.
I'm so game.
Yeah.
I love journaling for me is like I just express myself better almost through like writing or words.
Yeah.
And then also like just like stream of consciousness. Like people are like, how do I journal? I'm like, I literally write like I'm talking. Like my internal monologue is just like, no, I don't care about grammar. I don't care about punctuate. Like literally nothing is just like nonstop, just like spewing.
Yeah.
So yeah, journaling has been a huge part of me. Honestly, I used to like post my journals every single day, like back in probably like 5-6 years ago. And I've fallen. I'll still get people to DM me like, "Yo, like post your like where'd your journals go?" Basically.
Yeah.
But and that's actually what inspired the clothing. Is like I would take, like I said, like kind of what Cole Bennett's doing now, but like take my journals and like morph them into. But yeah, journaling for me has been super therapeutic, and it's been cool to like just like share myself, and like if one other person kind of like resonates with it and they get something from it, it's like it's worth sharing too. So I definitely recommend journaling. You born and raised here?
I'm born and raised here. Yeah. I've been here my whole life. That's why I'm like, dang, it would be cool to try out another city sometime. But it'll be hard.
It's also cool what you're building here. Like, I feel like Phoenix is still like figuring out like
clothing.
Yeah, and like even like identity and which is like cool. I was I telling you before?
Yeah.
I was like, it's like a big city, but I feel like it's still trying to, which is like a great time to like figure. I still still trying to figure out like its identity and like you're saying like fashion. It's like New York dope, but like also like you could be the player here. You know what I mean? Like you could be the big fish here as well, and it's cool to like.
No, I like it's my home, you know. So I always want to stay true to that and continue. It's gonna be hard. It would be hard to take the business out of Arizona. We literally have Arizona in our name. I mean, no one really knows. We kind of just keep it. It's just like AZVA, you know. It's an abbreviation, but yeah, we got AZ in our name. You know, it's like it's part of who we are. So. And it's cool because you don't really get to see many clothing brands coming out of Arizona. So it's definitely like we try and keep that unique to us. So,
that's what I'd even like incur. Like, not saying you should, but like LA, New York, dope, but like a flagship store here. You know what I mean? Like it's like you could be the one here. Like you could be the one here that. Yeah.
No, we definitely. I've always talked about if I did have a flagship, like I would love to have one here and then like New York, LA.
Yeah. So what's your future plans with this?
Future plans. I mean, we just
draw.
We got to draw. So what we've been doing recently is we've been, like we talked about before, is just trying to really increase quality and making sure that that's known that we're working on that and trying to just continue to better our products. And with that comes like slight price increases and stuff that we hope like our customers understand just due to the quality of things. But we're going to continue to improve quality. We want to be a higher end luxury brand. Like that's our goal. It just takes time to get there. And then, just working on more content creation, like doing this, letting people know like the people behind the scenes, I think is huge and really important because we don't want to be people that just like most brands just post pictures of t-shirts and hoodies on the internet.
Just like drop ship.
Yeah, we want to be like a culture and we want people to know who we are and feel like they're a part of what we're doing because they are. And like we appreciate our customers and we want them to know how much we appreciate them on like a personal level. So that's why like I hired Jake recently was to just do more content creation, videography. We just started a YouTube channel. So we know it's going to take time to like build up, but I think that's going to be a big part of 2024 for us is just continuing improve the products and then giving them just content. So
and like depth. Kind of like like understanding.
Trying to do more collabs. Like we want to work with we're actually talking to the Suns right now. We're talking to the Coyotes. So we're trying to do more like get ourselves out there,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of like a Kith vibe,
Yeah.
where we're just gonna try and work with big companies, big brands, just continue to get our name out there and grow our audience. So
Yeah.
in terms of like vacations, I feel like whenever I see, because like I follow like D-Book's Instagram, like I'll go check it out, and I feel like every time he's like in a nature place, you're with him. Is it like do you guys like go out there and like just like smoke weed together, or like what are you guys always doing in the woods? Like
We love the woods, bro. Like I was saying, we're from Michigan, bro. We love like nature, like camping, like bro. This past 4th of July,
do you guys like actually camp, or do you stay like in a mansion in the woods? No, I'm kidding.
I mean it depends where we're at, but like 4th of July this year, we're in a tent, like literally in a tent in northern Michigan. You know what I mean? It's like
hell yeah,
that's like our roots, and that's
sick.
Talk about a place I'm inspired is like nature and mountains, and like that's what I'm saying. He loves that. Like it's not like just like, oh, the aesthetic. It's like, no, I camp. You know what I mean? Like he really does camp, and
that's
like
sick.
so I think I think me and him, we appreciate that.
You guys have that like connection with like
like
enjoying and like having similar interests with that.
Appreciating that. Yeah, it's like and just like the simple like, dude, all we wake up and hike, like chill. You know what I mean? It's like just like slow, just easy, kind of like. And I think we went through a phase. Obviously, like it's still fun, but like the clubs in LA's, and like he used to do all his off seasons in LA, and
but now it's like let's go to Sedona.
Yeah, no, literally now it's like Flagstaff. Like it's just like let's just go get reclusive and like actually like charge up, and
that comes with like maturity too. I feel like it's like a big thing. Even me, like as the older I get, I feel like. I mean, some people being born here, there's not like too much nature in like Phoenix, Scott. So you got to go up north a little bit.
That shit's dope up there, bro.
North.
I fell in love.
North here is crazy. Yeah.
Dude, what? I moved here not knowing anything, dude. I'm in Flag like once a week, bro. Like
Sedona too.
I just like the mountain vibe for me, and I didn't realize like. And I like to ski. It's like, wait, I can go like live in the desert, but 2 hours get
ski.
Ski. It's like I was like, Arizona's very diverse in that sense. Where I was kind of naive before I moved here.
I feel like the older I've gotten, I've like appreciated nature more. I don't know. Like I've started to go, like I've gone to Sedona like 3 or 4 times this past year. Like it's just like it's nice to like take a break and just go be outside and like just go chill.
Yeah.
And, like,
talk about some inspiration too. Like colorway. I like that. I like the nature like colorways too. They're just like I mean Kanye does a good job of that, but like just like the pastel-y, like Sedona has such. I like always look at. I'm like that'd be a dope.
That'd be a great color palette.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm looking at like color palettes.
Like the purple with the
tie into the inspiration. We're just like literally the mundane. It's like I even hit book like we're on the beach in Arcadia. I'm like, dude, this color would be sick for your shoe. It's just like the blues of like Michigan and like the sand and like the dunes. It's just like I think nature gives me a lot of inspo. A lot of inspo, textures and colors and.
Cool. Well, before we wrap this up, do you have like any last questions, or do you want to get into like? I have one more question to wrap it up, but if you have anything else before then,
I think go for it.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So how we want to end this podcast is, and I asked AJ and Brock this last time. We want to talk because this is like a clothing podcast for the most part, and we want to talk clothes. So I'm curious, do you have like what is your favorite your 2 favorite clothing brands, like your large one and then like the smaller underground brand? I'm curious what people's answers are on this. So if you got like your top 2, like a bigger one, like can be like last time he said like Chrome Hearts and I said like Rude, and then a smaller one like a more low key clothing brand. So and you don't have to say AZVA.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is tough. Depends.
And it could just be like, it doesn't have to be anything. It could just be your style, you know? Like
I think, I guess from appreciation standpoint, he's gotten larger is Kid Super.
Yeah.
I think like watching Collins, like how he's like literally gone from like bootlegging a food truck outside a Complex Con, like trapping like shirts, you know what I mean, all the way to like literally Louis V show, you know what I mean? It's like crazy. It's been cool to see like, and I was in New York when he was like still, that was like 2019 when he was like still grinding. He's still grinding, but like I think his like, bro, his storytelling ability, his like one-of-one pieces, and I'm like, yo, what is this? Like just like very eye-catching, but also like his kind of like underground and like underdog come up story, and also his ability to like tell that and like express that and like know his roots, and like I think he just like navigates the fashion scene so well in that sense of like unique one-of-one pieces, knowing him, telling his story, and just like I don't know, I think Kid's super. I obviously like I own a handbag. Not many pieces, obviously they're more expensive, but like I just like I guess more appreciate Kid Super, I guess. More, and I'm not like the avid buyer of Kid Super, but I think like from like an appreciation and like pushing boundaries and like the come up, I think he inspires me a lot.
Oh, he's cool. You're a big Kid Super fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
I have one of his pieces. So
yeah, I like Kid Super a lot. I'm trying to think.
They got like an underground
one.
It doesn't have to be like crazy underground, but just like not as big as like, you know, that not one that everyone would know, you know.
Put me on the spot. I wish I would have known this coming in because I would have had a few. Honestly, I weirdly follow just like I love the Instagram just like under 5K followers that are just like either like mismatching shoe soles or like, you know what I mean? Just like weirdly, actually I followed some Japanese guys that do it. There's actually, there's one, he only does jeans and I can't pronounce his name. Okay. But it's like Mitaki, I don't know, but the way
Brock might know it.
I'll send you it, but like those type of people, I really don't have like one that I'm like, hey, and they almost like specialize. Like if I'm going to get jeans, like the way he cuts and flips and I don't know what he does, I'm like, yep, that's it for jeans. Those, but like, and then I have like shoe people that make like one-on-one shoes or like swapping soles. It's like, I'm also like a window shopper on Instagram. Like I'll like say, I never actually like buy them, but I'm trying to think of an actual like brand I could give you. I guess owning from like a sheer volume that I own, Brain Dead. Okay. I own a lot of Brain Dead. I like them. I guess they're not too big. Maybe that's.
You know Brain Dead?
Yeah. Brain Dead. I think they've done a dope job. Their collaborations are sick. Their store design's sick.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I own. I mean, I own a lot of Cactus Plant Flea Market, but they're bigger.
Yeah. Those are good ones, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I'm trying to think what else. I'll circle back on.
No, we can go with Brain Dead.
Yeah. We'll
go with Brain Dead.
I feel like they're bigger now. I mean, they're LA, Tokyo. They got a few, so like I feel like they're
a little
bigger.
Yeah. Well, dope, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on, like taking time to do this. Also, guys, we got him dripped out in that AZVA. We gave him a black leather jacket, the Rock Kimball jacket. So
appreciate that.
Hope you like that and you can rep that.
Also, when we got next drop?
Yeah, January 15th, guys. January 15th coming out. It's in like 6 days from now. This probably won't be posted though for a day or so. So it'll probably be like 4 or 5 days from when you guys see this. So yeah, we're anticipating hopefully our biggest drop ever. So because we've had a lot of hype on the piece I'm wearing and the jeans. This is our first pair of jeans. And
those jeans. Yeah. I texted you before. He's like, what do you need? I'm like, I need those jeans. I don't see it on your site, but I'm going to need those jeans for sure.
Yeah, dude. I've always loved denim and I like always wanted to make jeans. So it's cool. Like our first pair, I'm excited to see how they do. We've had a lot of people talking about them, asking about them. So I'm hoping we only made 50 of each product. So they're going to hopefully be gone quick. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on. But we appreciate you coming out here, bro, and we hope to continue to connect with you, watch your business grow. Like we pray for your success too, and like we'll definitely have to do some work in the future for sure.
I'm down to collab. Like I said, I'm tuned into you guys. I wasn't lying. I know your drops. Yeah. I'm familiar. I'm watching. So keep going, and you guys inspire me too. So yeah, bro. Appreciate you having me.
We're gonna keep inspiring each other and keep growing and supporting each other. Yeah, man. That's AZVA Pod episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We got another one we're filming actually in like 2 days, and we got another really good guest coming on. So tune in for that one also.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's it. Yep.
Appreciate you.